Hello everyone, welcome to today's session on Achieving Excellence with Generative AI. My name's Harry Fielder, I'm the chair of the Hotel Marketing Association, and today we're going to be exploring the role of tools like ChatGPT in hotels and how hoteliers can maximize their value. We've seen a huge boom of artificial intelligence tools hit the market, and that's only going to continue. So today we're going to explore how we can set ourselves up for success. So why does generative AI matter? The first thing is that it brings a whole new dimension to personalization at scale. So personalization has been achieved, for many years in a kind of ad hoc, case by case basis. Our receptionists can greet individuals. We can obviously send personal emails to individuals. But personalization at scale has always been rule based, and what I mean by that is, if someone falls into a particular segment, they'll have a certain response. So if they have, if they previously checked in with a dog, they're likely to have a pet friendly offer pushed to them a year down the line or so. However, the rule based can only allow personalization so far. Now we can be prompt based. We can actually allow the creativity to draw from a whole load of sources beyond. So it now allows us like kind of almost unlimited creativity on a case-by-case basis at scale. So we're not having to do this with human input. The next thing is content marketing is going to take a massive shift. Obviously, things like search engine optimization and have often relied on the speed at which we can output and deploy quality content. Now, if we're in a position now to actually have that content to be deployed at immense speed in a way that is unique to our business, it massively changes how our content marketing works. We can really ramp up our output levels, and thus far, content marketing has usually been hinged on the speed at which we can create it. And then finally, why it matters is that we can actually start finding inspiration and connections in our data set among our guest profiles that we were previously unable to find ourselves. So neural networks, the technology behind AI, is incredibly good at finding patterns and solving problems. So all three of them we'll touch on a bit today. So I've got a bit of a case study. I set myself a challenge to try and use ChatGPT in some real world scenarios. So could I, as a marketer, actually deploy some valuable ChatGPT in a very valuable way, and so I found a use case hotel to kind of to challenge myself. So the first things first is we wanted to see what ChatGPT could do out the box. So this is with zero context. We can just log into OpenAI or ChatGPT and just ask a generic question of, can you write a paragraph for why a guest should stay in my 5-star hotel in London? Now, we have no context of the brand, the type. We obviously know it's a luxury hotel, but apart from that, we don't know anything. So what we can see here is that we can see that the output is it's very dazzling, right? We've got some what lovely language around the opulent lobby, breathtaking views, savor exquisite cuisine, etc. But if you dig below the surface, it doesn't draw from the brand. How can it? It has no context to the actual business. And so when it comes to deploying this at scale or deploying this in a business relevant way, it has no business nuance to actually create properly, genuinely valuable content for us. And if we just rely on ChatGPT out the box, we're going to have quite a sort of a generic experience, I think. So is it a fad or is it phenomenal? So the output generally will dazzle with very engaging language, but it doesn't draw from the brand and it doesn't draw from any nuances in the hotel product that you have. So first issue with it. The second is that it can be too creative because it doesn't have the right parameters. As you saw there, it was talking about the opulent lobby, the breathtaking views. We haven't given it a framework, and it's just making it up. So without the right context, we're going to find issues with generative AI in hotels because it's going to be factually incorrect. And finally, without the right parameters, marketing material can often seem too salesy. Now, not in the previous example, but in other examples that I've tried, it really does push the kind of offer and sales-led content when you ask it for its support in marketing output. And the only reason it does that is because it hasn't got any more more specific information to latch onto. So it can come across as a bit inauthentic and a bit too salesy. So what can we do about this? Now this is where we can kind of set ourselves up to achieve very useful and relevant output from the AI. So we have to understand how it works. So AI draws from training data. So this training data set for tools like ChatGPT is vast swathes of the internet, up until the sort of training date endpoint, which was in 2001 for ChatGPT 3. So we need to find additional bits of data and additional data sources to provide the model, so that it can understand our business specifically. So we have to find, these can be all over the business as well, and we'll come on to how to use those in a moment. The data sets can be then uploaded to the AI for processing, so that future prompts can, they can draw from all of this additional business-specific information that we've added alongside the base model, which is clearly very good at putting language together, but obviously is lacking that context. So we're now combining the two, and we need to start crafting prompts that link the output to the context that we've just updated as well. So where can we find these data sets? There's all sorts of places, whether these are email threads, call transcripts, live chat threads, interview transcripts, tone of voice documents, brand guidelines. But the one I'm going to latch on to today is reviews. And the reason I'm going to do that is because it allows us to understand what guests genuinely think of us at scale. So if we think on the various review platforms, you might have thousands of reviews all aggregated and collected. Many of them positive, many of them neutrals, probably some of them negative. But the volume across, of the number of words across 3,000 or 5,000, however many reviews is phenomenal. And if we allow ChatGPT and the AI to start mapping all of the different thoughts and feelings and sentiments around our hotel, we can start drawing on the positives and learning and connecting dots to use in our output. Now, if we think about, yes, we might be able to use our website copy, but actually most of the website copy around amenities, around the benefits of staying there, it's all covered in reviews if there's enough reviews to look from. So that's where I'm going to start. So we built a bit of a tool, and this was a bit an experimental tool where I was able to scrape thousands of reviews from online, and I was able to, as you can see here, we've got the Queen's Hotel Brighton as a bit of a context hotel, and I was able to output this into a file, and this file can then be used in whichever way. You can use it in all sorts of ways, but the idea behind this was to create one large file that I could upload to ChatGPT. Obviously, this data is all in the public domain, and so yeah, it's rather than just copying and pasting every single review, it obviously speeds that up a lot. So now once I've uploaded it, I can ask it to do exactly the same thing. I can ask ChatGPT to do the same thing. Can you write a paragraph of why a guest should stay at Queen's Hotel? Now, if we take we haven't really set tone of voice yet, but if we start drawing into it, looking into this a little bit more, we've got specific references to individuals. We've got delightful seaside escape. We've got clean and spacious rooms. We've got sea views. References to the amenities, signature cocktails with mojitos. We've got Brighton's attractions, etc. So this now, obviously it doesn't necessarily factor in the brand, but it really understands the product, the nuances and the types of services and types of offering we have as a hotel. And I was, this alongside a bit of tone of voice information is where we can start really, really generating value, certainly from a marketing standpoint. So thus far, this is a great way of framing marketing output. So with all of this in mind, we can also ask similar questions like, can we create Google Ads copy? Could we have an email newsletter copy that draws from the top 5 reasons people come to Brighton or something like that. So because it will have all of that information in that context. Right, so what else can we do with this? So this is kind of slightly going beyond the marketing lens now. So we've been able to look at the kind of creative capabilities in terms of content generation. But what about things like idea generation? So let's ask another question. Can you select the most positive review? Let's say we want to showcase something on our site. And we can absolutely do that. We can you select the most positive review, and it will come back with that. It's obviously using semantic analysis. It's using its understanding of language to try and find the person that was most delighted and put the review back. Right, now let's go again and say, can you make a list of all the staff members mentioned along with the comments about them? Again, a fantastic tool to start exploring every guest user-generated content at scale. Now, if we could take this one step further, we could also do this with, could you please create a training plan based on the negative experiences that people had with staff? So again, this is a complete source of ideation that we're crowdsourcing from, thousands and thousands of words of user-generated content and thought to take, to use as a kind of a consultant to us, because it's able to evaluate this content far quicker and far more capably than we as humans can do. Now let's go again. So from the negative reviews, write a list of improvements that could be made to the hotel. Again, it's looking for themes along the various different, along the negative sentiment reviews, and collating and putting together some creative suggestions. Now, interestingly, the grab and go options for breakfast was that's actually been taken. The management of the hotel thought, oh, that's a fantastic idea. We never really thought of that. So, this is having real world benefits, and I've done this for a few hotels now, just as an exploratory task, and yeah, so it's having some really interesting results. So the key takeaways here really are, first of all, we need to explore all the data sources that you have in the hotel. And obviously I've latched onto reviews here, but when it comes to marketing output, we might want to factor in things like tone of voice. So we might want to upload perhaps email threads or questions and answers with various guests over the years to help it understand how we normally respond to things and the types of language that we use. We might want to, you could even go so far as doing call transcripts. If you have a voice over IP phone and you have that capabilities, there's nothing wrong with doing that either. So again, we've obviously used information that's in the public domain. There is going to be some interesting thoughts around how the security of uploading sensitive information to this, and this webinar is absolutely not for that. That's a topic for another day. But there will be capabilities in future to really ring fence that sensitive information. Whether ChatGPT is that right place, that's yet to be seen. And the second thing is we need to identify a gatekeeper for technical decisions. So this only works when we're able to actually draw out of our various different technical solutions the required data. Now, if we are making technical decisions without the context of using the data further down the line, so let's say we're choosing CRM systems or PMS systems or booking engines that don't allow us to start pulling data out of it in order to use it with sort of to train AI, then they were going to run into some issues. It's a slightly wider suggestion, but identify a gatekeeper for those tech decisions and have a framework when you are making decisions about what solutions to go with, that we're going to want to export and own that data ourselves as well, not just have that live in the SaaS solution. And then finally, start building. If you are exploring ChatGPT and using it for your for your marketing efforts now, then I would highly encourage you to just keep one thread going. So obviously in ChatGPT you can have a whole load of different conversations started, but what I'd suggest is just keep one and build it up and up and up and up, and that way those generative tasks are going to become more and more relevant. Ideally, you start that conversation off with a large file upload, and this can be done either via the OpenAI API, or you can actually have get a Chrome extension which allows you to upload files via the front end of ChatGPT from the website, which is it's very palatable, and that's exactly how I did this in this instance. Great, so that's what we wanted to go through today. I hope that was useful. Please, we'll share this on various channels, and please do use the comments if you have anything that you want to chat about. We'd be delighted to, alongside the rest of the committee and various other experts in the industry, we'll delighted to have further conversation with you guys and keep the topic of AI at the front of the mind, because it's only going to become more and more relevant. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one.